everyone should use military time, which is 24 hours long. I disagree with that so wholeheartedly. Why would you want to have those long numbers? And if you look at your watch, it only goes up to 12, right? So what's gonna be with that? I really like AM and PM, and I've had no problems with it whatsoever. I've never been confused by AM or PM. I've had Europeans say, well, how do you know if it's AM or PM? If no one says, well, I look out the window, and if it's like light out, then it's AM, and dark out, then it's PM, you know, depending on the number. I guess like if it's 3 AM, I know it's going to be dark out. 3 PM, it's going to be light out, you know. And I don't like doing math, like when someone, let's say from London, says to me it is 21:30. I gotta start doing math and figure out what is that, you know. So I truly love AM and PM. Okay. If you disagree, that's fine. I still love you. We can be friends and have a different opinion. Brunch isn't horrible, but it's ridiculously overpriced. I don't really get that, unless it's like some kind of fancy brunch type thing. You know, like at a fancy restaurant. Brunch is just a time of day kind of thing. was one, then I'd say, you know, that's kind of boring. Like, there's no story. That's me, though. Writers, please, can they write their own stuff instead of having reboots, remakes, etc.? bum, right? Sitting outside drinking cheap wine out of a brown bag. That's not posh at all. So, yeah. I wouldn't even say this. I don't even know what to say about it. I mean, drinking wine could be classy if you're sitting having a nice meal, with a nice bottle of wine, just sipping it, in nice company. Like, that's classy, right? But it can get you just as drunk, and it can be super cheap and junky stuff, just like any beer or any kind of alcohol. So yeah, I don't know what I'm getting at there. Gordon Ramsay is pretty damn hot. Whatever you like, if you think he is, then great. I'm sure he would be happy to hear that. Okay, scones, definitely jam, then cream. Why would you do it any other way? Well, I never put cream on a scone, and I usually don't put jam on it either. Maybe if it was a plain scone, if such a thing exists, but what I've seen generally, they are either like with blueberries or cranberries or chocolate chips or cinnamon and sugar and whatever. Like, you don't have to put anything on them. It's just kind of like a condensed muffin, sort of, in the shape of a triangle. So yeah, I don't put anything on it. Okay, here's the last one I'm gonna do, because I feel like I can't find any new ones. Self-acceptance is BS. Self-improvement is key. I would say that really depends on your situation.